Mark's side. This is where your relationship
This is where our video begins.
your relationship. You're live. We're live.
Yes,
now.
yes, we're recording.
Please take it
No,
down.
no, we're in.
No, this the GIXcast.
You guys can shut off the projector. We're not gonna use it. So yeah, welcome to the Star Wars: The Last Jedi spoiler cast.
Yep.
Could be. If you're listening to this, then we assume either A, you've watched The Last Jedi, or B, you don't care about
Or
spoilers.
C, you just like us way too much.
A, no.
No one likes
Hopeful
us.
thinking.
If you like us too much,
What are you doing with your life?
we were gonna say
Don't piss off the
no.
fan base.
What fan base?
We were gonna say you're a creep and get out.
What fan base?
You mean-
Joshua and Hill, our own members. Alright, let's start this Last Jedi cast. How do we start the Last Jedi cast?
Dude, this was
how
live.
you guys
You
feel
posted
about-
Yes,
it.
this is live,
Oh my
bitch.
god.
You guys are looking at. Okay, so for context, like we recorded what happened for the week, and then we took a short break where I recorded a live video for the podcast preview.
Yes.
Where these guys were looking at Tinder using Christopher's phone live.
We were
See it on my profile.
We were
Yeah.
helping.
All right. So how do we start? Last
Just
Jedi.
start.
guys.
Let's start with this. Rowie watched it. Hermie watched it. Arnold watched it. I watched it, and
He did
Choa
it, but he
hasn't.
doesn't
And
care.
Mark is away.
Mark has already been spoiled.
If it hasn't been said, spoiler warning.
This is a
Booyah.
spoiler.
Yeah, it says spoiler cast.
So you want to start at the beginning, or you just want to tackle the oh my god moment right away?
I guess let's just talk about the things that should be talked
Yeah.
about. We don't really want to make this too long.
Force goes.
Now let's start first with how do you feel about the movie?
It was a good movie, and I understand.
really love the movie.
Fuck you.
It
Just
was,
eat your fucking burger.
It was a good movie, but I understand why people could hate it because they left too many things out in the open. They either resolved them way too early or they didn't answer them enough. Like, for example, at least for me, they built this guy Snoke to be the big bad, and they just killed him in the middle. They don't know. They weren't really interested in telling us how did he sway Kylo Ren. How did he become into power? Why was he into power? So, and stuff like that. No, they just killed him right off the bat.
And I think it's kind of they're trying to do a reverse of what happened with what's Force Awakens, where you can kind of parallel it with the other movies, and now they're trying to go like completely original, but at the same time,
You wasted the character.
no, not really wasted. It's more with the pacing
Yeah.
of the movie, where a new A Force Awakens is supposed to entice this new audience or to hype up the old audience, and now like they're trying to be a little bit more profound with the story. Like they're trying to get into deeper.
Yeah. Actually, I
deeper
thought this
stuff.
was the movie that would tackle not just the light side of the Force and the dark side, but more on the great Jedi's. Because at the beginning, that's what I felt Luke was going to be. He was going to be
Yeah,
a Jedi that would use Force choke and Force lighting and be the middleman.
Choke like
Yeah.
Choke lightning.
No, Force choke and choke. And
You just said it right now. Choke lightning.
yeah.
That's fucked
Choke
up.
me,
You choke
daddy.
the guy and then you shoot fucking lightning.
Because he'd be evil. You
Uh,
know? And I don't really know why they did that mirror scene that really played off like the mirror in Harry Potter, that it will show you your truest desires and blah 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 blah.
No,
blah.
it felt like the mirror scene was like I want to see something here, but she didn't see anything, and she was like disappointed, and she left the island.
Okay. My opinion on the matter is that I think. Oh my god. Okay, so I think like with. Let's go back to Force Awakens, right?
Okay.
And then one of the things that I like about the Force Awakens is it had a good balance of newness to it while catering to the fans of the old one. Like what you just said, there were like slight similarities with the old trilogy, stuff like that. With that said, though, there are like parts here that are also a bit visually the same, such as the last battle, which is reminiscent of like the Hoth scene
Mm.
in the areas and stuff like that, and the place that you shouldn't enter where there's the mirror. It speaks to that place in Endor where Luke fought off Darth Vader, and then inside Darth Vader was Luke or something like that.
Oh.
Is that a gay thing?
It could be an incest gay thing, but yeah. So anyway, so there's a certain sense of like there's something familiar, but it's new, right?
Mhm.
So I think in general, what the trilogy is shaping up to me is because if you can remember the controversy ish with Disney acquiring Star Wars is that all extended universe is cut.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, yeah, they didn't acknowledge any
So,
of it.
so I think this is like the thematic send off to the old stories wherein because there's always has been like let's kill off the old way, let's end the Jedi Order, the Sith, everything, all of it, let's end it like that. So I think this is gonna be like the send off.
Yeah,
It's time for Disney.
It's time for Disney.
I think
Fuck those novels.
Kylo Ren has emphasized kill the past.
Yeah,
Kill
so
the past.
Oh
Kill-
wow! Actually, that
yeah,
other meanings like Disney.
I like that theme. I like that movement. But in as a movie, I feel like it lacked in execution because people are gonna kill me, especially Paolo. But I think this Star Wars movie was a bit boring. In my it checked the boxes, but in ultimate, that's why I call it it's the New Hope of this trilogy.
Mhm.
It checks all the boxes. Yeah, it's still a Star Wars movie. Yeah, but you don't really remember it aside from some key facts. You don't really enjoy much of the movie, anything like
Your
that.
opinion is consistent with how it's being rated right now in most sites, where critics rate it like a 95 or a 96 right now because like as a Star Wars introducing the next chapter of Star Wars in terms of the story, like it as Arnold said, it checks all the boxes. Like it talks about all the important stuff that we care. But when it comes to entertainment, like the audience scores like 50%, 54%.
Yeah, I think it was closer to 55 or 56,
Yeah.
but for an audience score, that's pretty low.
Mm.
If less than 70% of the audience likes it.
Yeah, critics loved it, but most of the people like are
Well,
kind of half.
Depend love.
I mean, to be fair, it was shot well. It was edited well. The music was great. The design and actually the visual effects were really really good. But I think one of the reasons why the audience didn't like it because it left too many things out in the open. It didn't address things, or it was hyped up to be this like big training montage with awesome fights and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think. Yeah, yeah.
And the ending, I think for me, the ending felt flat. It was. It wasn't really a movie. It was more of a setup.
Yeah, I was about to say that with my review.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go.
With Force Awakens, it's a good spark to ignite the fire.
Oh,
Fire
Oh
rises.
yeah,
Look at that.
but this movie felt like it wasn't the flame that came from the spark, but rather
Just the spark.
something to set it up. It's like the Tinder.
What?
The
The actual Tinder box,
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
the Tinder app.
No, not the Tinder app.
Oh,
The actual,
the actual Tinder app.
the actual Tinder you use to
Yeah, the Tinder box.
Yeah.
no, not the Tinder box. It's
Tinder
literally
app?
not the app. What Tinder is. Basically Tinder
It's
is
a fire.
something you use to start the fire.
You know,
Tinder
like
is
the
the
app.
Tinder.
That's why it's called Tinder.
No,
But
Tinder
burn
is
everything to the ground.
Tinder is the dry thing that would create a small fire, so
Yes,
it
in
would
the
burn
box.
the logs enough to
Yeah,
make
that's
the
the
big
box,
fire.
right? Yeah, the Tinder box.
Tinder is like wood carvings and it's
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying
That's what
is,
I meant by the Tinder box.
basically what I'm saying with this, that this movie sets up part 9 so much that it feels like it's so forgettable.
The thing is, it said it was part 9, but what will we expect part 9? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because at least in the end of Force Awakens, it ended with
No,
Rey
because-
giving,
because,
Luke the
The setup for
Like-
9, I believe, would be from the Force kid from the racetracks, the fact that Luke Skywalker left the books in the Millennium Falcon, and the fact that Luke left to be a Force ghost because he didn't die just
Yeah, he
lying
can
down
still
the ground.
appear and talk to Rey. I mean, that's what Yoda did to him.
Yeah.
Yoda's still
So
a fucking prick.
those are the three setups.
Hey, Yoda tapped his staff and lit a tree trunk on fire. I don't know if that was
That was the
coincidence
library.
or
That was the
yeah,
library.
No, he was
Bitch ass nigga.
he went away like Ben Kenobi did or Obi-Wan with rather than being struck down, they just vaporized
poofed.
and they left the road. That's what Luke did as well. So yeah, those are basically the three setups I see, where with the Force, when the Force kid getting the map with the Force, it sets up that there are new.
Really?
Yeah,
I
near the end.
I didn't know.
Remember when the kid wore the rebel ring?
Yeah.
Really? That was a Force?
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
was that
yeah,
means
yeah.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
grabbed-
Arnold was talking about
I
it.
freaked
It-
out
For
there.
me, it looked like he just reached for it.
Yeah.
He
I
reached
didn't
for
see
it
the.
and the map approached his
I
hand.
did not.
Basically,
It was subtle. It was.
it was subtle. Basically, what it was setting up to be that
Another
there are gonna be
Padawans.
new Padawans. Yes, there are gonna be new students to the Force, which is probably gonna be trained by either Force Luke, I'm guessing,
Because
That's
Rey is still a student.
Or
Yeah.
killed by a new Anakin.
or killed or
Young
killed by
boys.
by yeah by
Annie, that's the Skywalker.
oh yeah. Basically, it sets that up. And also Rey getting the books because Luke left them in the Millennium Falcon. So basically, the Jedi religion could still continue, and Rey wants it to.
Mhm.
Unlike Luke, where he was, all tantrumy, and the Jedi should end.
Speaking of Rey, didn't you think that this film had too many ships?
Ray X Ren, Ray X Finn.
Ships in the Rey X
You know what?
Ray X
Kylo.
Ren,
There
Ray
was
X
something.
Rey X Finn.
I don't know. Maybe.
Finn X Rose, Poe X BB.
Everyone just fucking gets into an orgy
You know what?
at the
Yeah,
end.
I was like, maybe it's just the Steven fan in me, but I was like, hey, in the beginning when they were bombing the ship, hey, that girl's name is Pearl, and hey, look at that girl's name is Rose, and I'm like, what?
Now you're just digging into it.
Oh,
Yeah, just-
is this guy's name Steven?
Yeah, oh look at that. Hey,
Steven the Jedi.
Yeah, but
no, but the thing is, yeah, that's what I see. The Last Jedi is a good setup, but it's not a good continuation. of
Nine
Force
better
Awakens.
be solid because they're in
Because-
here. They're setting up the start of the rebellion, and they have to end it too. as
You
well
know
with
the
nine,
bad
so.
thing is, for a trilogy to work,
You need they all need to be solid
yes.
parts.
Oh, and no, I mean for the first part needs to introduce us the characters and set things up. The last part needs to be needs to
Proper
answer-
send off.
Yeah, it needs to be a proper send off and answers all the questions. Usually for trilogies, the best parts will be on the second part because the directors and the screenwriters can just go
Whatever the
anywhere,
fuck,
go
yeah.
off
Oh,
script.
I'm
They
gonna-
can do anything they want because they have.
I'm gonna say it right now.
Because if you notice, most trilogies are the best ones, at least for Lord of the Rings and The Dark Knight, were the second movies.
Okay, you might not have heard it from me first, but I'm saying it right now.
Mhm.
I think Phasma's still alive. I'm gonna make a comeback on
Oh.
part 9.
it would have been so awesome, like if she comes back and
And
her
she has
armor-
an eye patch.
No, well that too, but her armor isn't shiny anymore. It's all
dark.
rusted out,
Yeah.
and fucking that would be awesome.
Or like Onyx, not Chrome.
Honestly,
Oh, God.
but though, yeah, the thing I can see why there is such a divide between the audience is that I think the movie got too smart for its own good. Because if you can think of the basic premise of the old trilogy, it's basically good versus evil.
Hmm.
So in here, they got rid of the ultimate good, which is Luke, and the ultimate evil, which is Snoke, and tried to give it a bit more,
Of a gray
Yeah,
area.
great.
yeah, kind of like what Tantrum guy, Kylo Ren.
Actually, I was gonna say Kylo Ren doesn't seem so bad. Not as bad as Snoke. I mean, he could rule the universe, but he wouldn't rule it with an iron fist.
Yeah, here we
But
go.
he's prone to
So yeah, I was
tattoos.
just saying, like Kylo Ren's rant or like monologue near the end was like, we can rule the galaxy or something. We can finally put an end to whatever, but like the Sith and the Jedi, all of it. That was actually the same intentions of Anakin Skywalker during the old prequel. So they're trying to do what the prequel did, in message, but I think it just got too smart for its own good. Because again, if we think Star Wars, we don't think Star Trek, wherein it's all smart and
Politics.
Politics,
yeah,
and
deep
gray
and stuff
areas, yeah.
stuff like that. We think of like, okay, good guys, bad guys, stormtroopers are Nazis, go kill them all.
Powers.
So,
and all that shit.
Yeah, so because they're trying too much to again move into another direction wherein it's a bit more complicated now and it's a bit deeper, commendable, yes. You lose the entertainment factor because of that, because majority of your audience is gonna be kids or like people who like the old movies.
For people
so.
who like lightsaber battles.
Yeah.
I think, can you talk about that more?
Question.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Did they develop the Republic or whatever the remnants is?
What I mean,
No,
Remnants of the
there's
Republic.
Resistance.
yeah,
The
you're
Republic
still
is
just a
dead.
resistance.
What is the that was one of the things that confused me with the Force Awakens. The Resistance. Why are they still Resistance? Are they?
Yeah, didn't they win? Yeah.
No, because the First Order took over.
I think there's a reason why people can't understand the supposedly complex message of this film, because the world is not that developed.
No, the world is developed.
Yeah, the point of view of the common citizen that they're trying to protect. What's their point of view on Jedi religion? Is people that fanatic about it? Do people really care about it?
No, remember in
maybe.
episode 5 and 6, even how Han Solo thought, he didn't believe in the Jedi.
That's just one person. How about the Republic? How about
No,
everybody
what I
else?
mean is, the Republic, everyone else, everyone's point of view on the Jedi, they're like legends now. And the appearance of, they just think that Darth Vader is not someone who can use the Force, but rather someone who's just a really kick-ass warrior, and Luke Skywalker is a really kick-ass warrior as well.
But in this,
But after part 6, remember, now they know that, oh, yeah, the Jedi did exist.
Yes,
but
but-
there's so few of them now. That's just Luke Skywalker training his students, and his students
now
turned down on
we
him.
established that they know that the Jedi exists with such powers.
Yes.
What now? Do they see these people
No,
as a
if you
threat?
can remember-
Do they see them as some sort of?
But to answer
They're too
that,
powerful. They need to be cut down.
to answer that question, it's like if you could remember, like in part 4, when Ben, when Luke finds out that Ben was a Jedi, he kept on asking, "Did you fight in the Clone Wars? Did you meet stuff like that?" So I think
Who do you mean by Ben?
Then
Ben on Ben
Obi-Wan,
Kenobi,
yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So I think it is also like a myth at that time. It is
Yes.
known, but it was mostly just stories.
I agree that it's at that point of the story, the beginning of
Yes,
Star Wars.
remember,
4,
there are-
yes, 4,
No,
5,
he's
6.
talking about 7.
Yes,
starting from
no,
7.
I'm talking now about 7. So everybody knows about it. Their general leader is a brother to a Jedi master, so everybody knows that the Jedi are real and they fought.
Mm-mm.
So what's their point of view of
But
these people
I
who
think
are
they don't-
overly powerful?
They don't have much of a point of view
Yeah.
because the only two remaining known Force users are Luke and Kylo Ren.
Aren't they
So-
supposed to be
yeah.
afraid of such people?
But they are afraid of Kylo Ren.
The Jedi also. Are
But
they not as
Luke's missing, and he's the only remaining Jedi
Isn't
as
that
far
as
as
a
the
threat?
universe knows.
At this point, Luke is Jesus, wherein there's lots of stories about him, but he's not there.
Kasi in my point of view, the people would somehow think if there's one of them, there's probably more. What could they have controlled the government? People could see them as a threat because at some point the Sith Lords could have been Jedi before. Why not just destroy them? There should be some kind of conflict in society.
Yeah,
between
but the
Jedi.
thing
And
is,
they
if
have-
people who are untrained with the Force aren't that good,
yeah, people
they aren't
Yes,
Jedis.
I understand that. That's the point of view of someone who knows about it. But how about the common people who will think of the
Have
verse?
you watched Rogue One? Because Rogue One actually touched.
Yeah, talk
They-
about
Yeah,
let's
talk
talk
about
about. I'm talking about 7. I'm just talking about the people.
No,
who knows
Rogue
it.
One was released after 7.
No, but
They-
Rogue One
Rogue
is set before 4.
Yeah, but
So it's
Oh, yeah, right,
Society's
right.
changed.
I'm just
starting
saying,
from
it's
7.
like there was a dialogue there about like how regular people foresee the Jedi Order.
Yeah, they think
Mm.
that.
I'm assuming that that's so few of the people that they're irrelevant as they see them as a legends. Right? They're irrelevant. But right now they're in the center stage. People are now aware that their central powers is controlled by a few people with powers that can mind control people, supposedly.
Yeah,
Isn't
but the
that-
thing
I
is,
think, in my opinion, the idea of the Jedi Order and the Sith Order should have been established by having the point of view of the people who live in the galaxy that have to suffer through their battles.
And
Yeah,
on your
point of
point,
view ka lang.
and your point, that's the fault of the screenplay, the writing. They talk more about side A and side B and not the common folk.
They're
I
talking
think that's your point.
Yeah,
That's your-
they didn't
that's your
show
issue.
much
of the common people. The common
Yeah,
uh,
of the Republic. They
ever
didn't show much of
since
the
they
Republic.
left Ray's desert area in episode
Yeah.
7, there wasn't any more like
It's
common
using,
places.
Remember,
It's
the
using-
Republic was shot down immediately by
But-
the big ass gun.
Oh yeah.
what's happening to the entire society
Yeah,
with
they
no
didn't
central
show
government? How could I care about a galaxy that has no citizens that I care for?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're not supposed to care for them. Because the focus of the story is on the characters.
If I don't care about the citizens, what are they protecting for? For their pride? For their? I thought they were trying to protect the galaxy. For
Well,
this
yes,
idea
from
of-
the first
Yes,
order.
and you're right, and that is the fault of the screenplay. They were focusing too much on the big
Yeah,
players
I think
and not on
they're
the small
using
guys.
they're using too much of a great man and trying to put these people in the pedestal, which I think sino yun? Kylo understands that these two factions are meaningless, are creating more chaos for the common folk, which I could see as a good
Here's
point.
what I think. Cause like
Wala lang yung point of view ko nun.
yeah, spoilers about again the story. It's like if you could see the story through the eyes of Kylo Ren, wherein the Order failed him in his sense, wherein like he was conflicted emo kid, and then the only person he sought mentorship in
Was
was
Luke.
Luke, who tried to kill him.
Yeah.
But I should note this was after he was contacted by Snoke.
Mm.
So you got two voicing bodies that are dictating what you believe in, and then one of them tries to kill you. So you're gonna
naturally you go to the other guy.
yeah, you kind of lean to the other
So-
side, but the other side as well, with the dialogue with Ren,
wants to use you.
yeah, he saw that Snoke was using him. So in my opinion, the point of view of Kylo Ren is like good guys are fucking fuckers, bad guys are fuckers as well.
Question.
Let's
Just
try to
destroy them.
reset the
Why
world.
did
Yeah.
Luke try to kill?
He
foresaw
admitted
the
it
darkness.
himself that it was a moment of weakness.
Okay.
Like he saw that Kylo Ren was already contacted by Snoke, and the only way to stop the future from being fucked up is by killing him now. Like it
Okay.
was an
Mistake.
instinct.
So
He himself
it's-
admitted that it was a moment of weakness. He listened to his instincts.
So it's a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so going back to the nod by Christopher, I only noticed this because like the kid was talking about it while I was taking a piss. He was like,
Someone outside our party or no one of the
no, just one of the kids who watched the movie was like, there wasn't any lightsaber battles. And my first initial was like, there wasn't. But in reality, it's like,
There were lightsabers were used,
yeah.
but lightsabers did not clash.
Yes.
Right. There we go. Lightsaber to lightsaber.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually,
Where?
even in the Force Awakens, I was
exactly lightsaber to lightsaber.
No, yeah, no lightsabers clashed.
There weren't any duels.
That's a fact. No
Yeah.
lightsabers clashed. That's a correct fact.
Yeah, but in honestly though, in my opinion, it's like one of the first few things I like about the first movie, The Force Awakens, was that the fucking fight with Kylo Ren and Rey, wherein you can kind of see that they're not trained Jedi. They're like,
And
they're
I think it was I think the more awesome fight I remembered was with Finn and the other stormtrooper guy, the traitor.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome
I
fight.
saw this. Who won at the Force Awakens in that duel?
Of course, it was Rey.
It was right.
I
Yeah.
By a stroke of luck or no?
No. She suddenly was able to use the force.
But Kylo Ren was already wounded by that big ass
Yeah, by
shotgun
the
with Chewie.
crossbow.
Wookiee, bowcaster. Yeah.
No, there was
I think they
also
should
the
have
fact
made
that
more.
it was also mentioned by Snoke that during that time he just killed Han Solo, so his insides were super messed up. Like
Yeah, his
that's why he
foot was
couldn't
too-
focus on the fight.
Yes, his insides and his literal insides.
So yeah, I don't really think it's a bad thing that there weren't any lightsabers because I kind of like that. What Cho was alluding to earlier, I kind of also want to see the world outside of the story.
The main character.
Well,
the
but
main
it doesn't
characters.
have to focus on midichlorians.
Oh fuck that shit.
Just the common citizen.
So yeah, in fact, one of the coolest moments in Force Awakens was the baton fight with
No, but I think
black guy.
And
with how episode 8 set it up,
John
I think
Boyega. Finn.
Okay, John Boyega is the most wasted character in this series. In my opinion, the Force Awakens. So I think it extends here. It's like he's treated like a side character, if I'm not mistaken. John Boyega.
When he started as the main character, as one of the
in the in Force Awakens,
one of the trooper who awakened, right?
I think
Became good.
they could have explored the idea of trooper in the Empire. That's kind of an interesting concept. Trying to go to their psyche. Why do they believe this? Why do they do this?
I think they
What's the moment they
a bit on that on the first movie, on the sixth movie.
Who's the guy who parang at some point there was this part where he cared for this one trooper, supposed friend that triggered his change in him. What's his friend? What's the relationship?
What's if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken, this wasn't directed by J.J. Abrams, right?
No, only produced.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the problems as well. Is that J.J. Abrams had that nice balance of enjoyability and like storytelling. Yeah, in the first Force Awakens. Now I think it feels like okay, here's what I want you to do. Go do it. So
yeah. My opinion with episode 8. As you were saying, why wasn't the other worlds explored?
I mean, aside from the casino planet.
Yes, aside from the casino planet, I think it will be. I think also part 8 set it up that it will be explored in part 9, with how they've already sent the message to the Outer Rim. Now they're trying to escape, so they're gonna go to the Outer Rims and they're gonna see the world there. And basically try to invite more people into the rebellion.
Speaking about the casino place, they were supposed to contact a code hacker with the one with the insignia, but he wasn't really the one contacted.
Yeah,
they got one of the side character, one of the criminals, the guy with the stutter. I've never heard.
Yeah, he's the collector.
Back. Yeah.
He probably is.
He's the collector, right? From Guardians.
Yeah, he's the collector.
That was Bordio Javier.
Yeah, not Bordio Javier. It's one of the guy from the other guys.
He's like collector. He's the collector.
Yeah, he's
the guy from James Bond.
No, that's a different guy. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
No, it's a different guy.
Okay, yeah. So
they met Guardians collector.
Yeah.
Thor collector.
Yeah, Thor collector.
Thor collector.
The collector in Marvel. One that had the duck, Howard the Duck.
That was Javier Bardem, right?
It's not Javier Bardem.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I'll search for it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. It feels like it ticks the right boxes, but it wasn't done well. It was mostly just like, okay, this is what we need to do. So here we go, and ultimately it just ends. What I will commend though, this thing is like a nice visual treat. Like I think we can all agree that light speed scene was awesome.
Oh yes, the crash.
Yeah,
that was the best shot for me in Star Wars history. Like those effects of the black, the just blue, space black, and then white cracking
the hyperdrive blue white.
Yes, it felt like time stopped.
It was
in
the
that
best
moment.
shot in the entire Star Wars history.
The fact that there wasn't even any ounce of sound in that moment, I was like,
damn, that shot, the visual effects of that shot,
feels like Saitama punched or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Like, it's like the earth parted.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No, it was.
So yeah, it was a few. I think it's a common theme with modern movies nowadays, where they try to take like screenshotable shots or wallpaper type shots.
God, now I want to make that like a wallpaper or something.
Yeah, see. So
also, I just thought of a better analogy for what
it's
Star Wars is.
Benicio del Toro, the guy who with a stutter.
Oh, okay.
I hope the trilogy is like it's like a volleyball. It's like a volleyball exchange where 7 caught the spike, it raised it up, it brought it back in the game, and 8 is the one setting it up, and 9's gonna spike it.
J.J. Abrams will direct the last one.
No, that's how I think this trilogy will go. Where 7 caught the ball, it's
7 is a Force Awakens. This is 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 7 was the one to catch the spike after such a long time.
You can almost say that 7 just served a new set.
Yes.
Yeah, so 7 just served the new set.
I learned that because of Dead or Alive Extreme.
And then 8's the ones that's setting it
Yeah.
up.
Why
and
do
then
you
9's
sound
gonna
proud?
sit by
I don't.
Yeah, I
that's
understand.
all.
For me, I think the best analogy I could give this is JoJo Part 1. It is not the most enjoyable JoJo, but I feel like in the end run, this is needed.
Yeah, there were important bits in
Yeah.
this part.
You need JoJo Part 1 to fully appreciate Part 3 in the same way that you
Yeah.
need this to fully appreciate whatever is next.
It's
Yeah.
a fate determined by the Force.
I will say though, evil BB-8 is
The big
cool.
black
Yeah,
black bot.
He wasn't shown much, but when he was there,
Yeah.
He owned the scene.
shit got down, boy.
So yeah, closing this off.
Yeah.
I just remembered when we talked about midichlorians.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Dragon Ball is Star Wars?
What?
Yes. Super Saiyan has been confirmed to have something to do with something called S cells,
Sure.
where the amount of S cells that a Saiyan has, like, reacts to the anger that they feel, and that triggers the Super Saiyan.
So, why didn't Vegeta get a Super Saiyan? He's the angriest one there.
Maybe he has so few, but he has so much anger.
Dragon Ball is Star Wars confirmed.
What
Don't-
is SS?
It's like midichlorians. Like, remember in Star Wars, the more midichlorians you have, like the more in tune you are with the Force. Like the more S cells you have, the more
To
your body reacts to anger and
Saiyan
empowers you, turning you into a Super Saiyan.
You wanna know?
Fuck.
Never take notes from the prequels. Never steal shit from the prequels. The only cool shit you can do is like Darth Maul's blade. That's about it.
Yeah, with how Rey was training with the staff, I was pretty sure she was gonna get a
Yeah,
staff like.
I
lightsaber.
thought she was gonna put when she was training with the staff, and then she took her lightsaber.
You
I thought she was gonna put the
it in.
lightsaber on top and make a spear.
Oh my god! Lightsaber, halberd,
Yes.
some shit like that. That
I
would've
wanted
been
her
so
to make
hard.
her own style.
No, I was
Actually,
thinking
See,
that
maybe
was so
she will
much-
do it in part 9. Maybe she will read the
Maybe.
text and learn how to make a saber and make her own staff saber.
Hopefully.
That would fix
Oh.
away problem with the original fight in A Force Awakens.
Rey
Rey
was better with a
was
staff.
too good for the sword. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that she would have fumbled first, then figured out that he's trying to be something that he's not, and tries to make the halberd.
Yeah, maybe she'll fix the crystal.
But
in the
remember-
broken-
The description of a Jedi by Obi-Wan
Mhm.
in part 4.
4 or 5, yeah.
In part 4, how Obi-Wan described a Jedi, where they could see seconds into the future. That's why they have such great reflexes.
Mhm.
That's why Anakin was such a great driver, even though he barely drive.
Uh,
That's why he was such a great pilot, even though he didn't ride, those battleship troopers.
TIE
types.
fighters.
Yeah, sky fighters. That's why it also explains why Rey, who is very attuned with the Force, could handle a saber so well. It's because she could see seconds into the future, and of course she would block the way anyone would block. You want to be hit like that, so you block like this.
I still,
You may not be very good with a saber, but you at least have instincts enough to know how to block.
You're
Because of the
naturally
Force.
good.
Because of the Force.
Yeah, you're naturally good.
which makes training pointless. Parang
Which makes training pointless, but that's because
No, think about this.
training.
You still need the fundamentals.
Yeah, the
Even though
training-
you
If
can
I
do
could
it-
make
the spot,
a sports analogy.
The training of a Jedi is not to beat the normal people.
Yeah.
It's to beat other
There's
Jedi
Jedis and
that can
Sith.
see
Yeah.
the future
as
also.
well.
Yeah.
So there, hence
he's
the
going
training.
against an experienced fighter. What? I don't know.
Who was
No,
caught
but-
off guard.
Yeah, who was caught
Yes,
off guard.
but still,
Remember,
we're-
And
More
injured,
experienced.
Injured and-
like emotionally distraught.
yes.
Why is Rey so
And he's a fucking tantrum
why is
kid.
Rey so comfortable with battle, and all of a sudden, parang
Have you been to Jakku? You live by fighting.
so you think
Have you-
those people in poverty
Have,
will know
have
how
you
to
been
fight?
have you
man?
been into a fight
So it-
with an injured leg and you just killed your father a few minutes before? Like, dude, you
He's
can't
he's still
compare those
experienced, man.
circumstances.
Even in
You know he's an
even
emo-
in Rey's point of view, he's still too experienced in fighting.
Yeah,
It looks-
even
you-
if in the
That's
battle
why
you
they
see it.
made him put him in all those disadvantages.
You
Then
know,
it was intentional.
Kylo Ren is a fucking emotional trainer.
And you gotta admit,
And
with how Rey handled the sword in Episode 7, I mean, yeah, her reflexes were good, but she was swinging like fucking
Crazy.
That's what I
Yeah.
like about Part 7. It's like it doesn't feel
It
like
was so.
rave dancers.
It was
It
so
feels like
raw.
fucking yeah,
It's like
raw.
someone
Feels like a street
It's,
fight.
it's like a
Feels
kid
like
with
a
a
fucking
stick.
street fight,
It's
yeah.
like a kid with a
Yeah,
stick.
Okay, where are we talking about 7 again?
I mean,
I mean,
I
look
mean,
at
for
Mr.
my
Weapons
fight
guy
battles,
over
it's my
here,
main,
you know.
one of
Yeah.
my complaints back in
Yeah, with the battles.
it made Kylo Ren look like a pussy. Like
Not
I
a
mean,
pussy.
make him a threat at least.
No, not a
make
pussy.
Have you seen his specs?
Have you seen his
Yes,
face?
and
They're impeccable.
or
Did
at
you see
least
his pants?
make it
No,
make
his
it
specs,
so that
his specs were so disturbing. Ray wanted to hide them.
I would have accepted that at some point that the Force will Ray will go for the Force lightning shit out of nowhere. That's a good. I can accept that she's stronger with the Force, but I can accept that she's stronger with lightsaber. Parang.
You want to know like a random Star Wars fact? You want to know why Darth Vader can't do Force lightning?
I
You
want
know,
to
robot shit.
Yeah, he has robot arms.
And he
yeah.
killed younglings.
No, it's not because he has robot arms. He can do it.
Mm.
The problem is when he uses Force Lightning, it's gonna be conducted by his armor and mess up with his breathing
God,
apparatus.
the younglings thing reminded me of because we talked about the respecting women meme, right?
What?
The respecting women,
Women?
respecting
Women.
women.
Respect.
Because there was a meme where the Anakin with the younglings, Anakin has me,
Mhm.
and then the younglings were women, and then the lightsaber is respect. Respect women. Alright, can we end there or something? Do you guys still have anything to say about
Nothing. Let's
episode
end there.
8?
Let's end there.
Alright,
What's
respect,
your new-
respect women, everybody.
What's your new
Beautiful.
So that's the lesson we
Yeah,
should
this
all
is
get.
beautiful.
from Star
Episode
Wars.
8 teaches us to
Beautiful.
respect women.
Respect.
Beautiful.
Respect.